The American dream has officially become a financial trap. Even if you pay off your house, skyrocketing taxes, insurance will price you out of it. You know, property taxes have gone through the roof. A basic bag of groceries. You know, I remember going to the grocery store and it was like $10 or $20 a bag. Now, how many bags do you get for $300? This is just putting a big crimp on the American way of life. When the most hardworking, the most loyal Americans decide that they need to pack up and leave because they cannot afford the American dream, who's going to be left to keep that dream alive? The American dream is dead. People cannot afford the American dream. You cannot afford to buy a house today. The American dream used to be you went to school, you got a job, you worked hard, you bought a house, you had a white picket fence, you had 2 cars in the garage, you had a couple of kids, a dog, a very nice neighborhood to live in. Nowadays, you cannot afford that American dream. And if you are lucky enough to buy a house and eventually pay it off, the skyrocketing property taxes are going to kill you. Mortgage rates keep climbing and climbing, and Americans are finding it harder and harder to keep up. So they're refinancing their houses at a larger interest rate. They're just getting deeper and deeper in debt. The American dream now is not to be in debt, I guess. It is not what it used to be. We used to have mortgages. And I know this is 50 years ago. I had my first house. My mortgage was $300 a month on a $42,000 home. That is not there now. And of course it's not. Inflation, wages have gone up. Many things have gone up. But wages have not kept up with the rapid cost of owning a home. And the American dream was always to own a home. It was to retire. And when you retired, you had your home paid off. That's why it was 20 or 30-year mortgages. Now they're talking about 50-year mortgages. You'll never pay off that home. That dream is gone. The cost of living is probably the biggest thing affecting Americans right now. You know, a lot of people talk about the price of gas. You know, $5, $6, $7 a gallon. It isn't the price of 1 gallon of gas. It's what gas prices represent. When gas prices go up, so does everything else. The cost of diesel, so that's the cost to ship goods. Everything is driving the cost up for everything you need in everyday life. I see more and more people talking about they have a choice. I could fill up the car and go to work this week, or I can buy groceries. What a choice that is for America. We're the greatest country in the world, and yet we're so dependent on oil and gas prices. If we're so good at what we do in America, why are gas prices so high? If we're the #1 producer of oil, I don't understand. Politics is not my forte. Geopolitical climate, it just doesn't seem right that Americans are suffering, but yet we're spending money all over the world. Who's taking care of Americans? Who's taking care of the American dream? The life that we want for us, our children, our grandchildren. It's unattainable right now. And many people are going abroad looking for this. They're looking for cheaper housing overseas. They're going to, like Spain or Portugal. And I was just reading, because of the massive influx of foreigners going into these smaller countries with the lower cost of living, like Spain, Portugal, Italy, is driving up the price of housing. So we're running away from the U.S. problem into another country, and the problem is getting worse and worse because we can't afford to live in America. Now we go to their country and they're raising the rates on rent and home prices because we have more money, and still looking for the American dream in other countries, raising a family abroad. Is that a wise decision? But many Americans are choosing that over staying back in America. Kitchen table reality. We used to always have steak. Now it's steak? No, it's oatmeal. SpaghettiOs. Spaghetti. Cheap foods. Processed foods that are not that healthy for us because they're less expensive. We used to always have steak 2 times a week. We always had roast beef. We always had quality food at the kitchen table for dinner. Nowadays, because of budget pinching, hot dogs, baked beans, and I'm not talking about Bush's baked beans. I'm talking about Van Camp, the cheap stuff. People cannot afford what they are entitled to. Americans, we work hard. We earn good money. We feed the world. We help the world. But yet, we as Americans back home are suffering. And you have to flee. I had to flee. I didn't flee because I was going to starve. I didn't flee because I couldn't afford a house anymore, because I couldn't. I didn't even think about that at this point. But I could live more efficiently, cheaper overseas in Southeast Asia. But American families are choosing Europe, South America. Many destinations American families and individuals are choosing to leave and go to. Retirement does not mean what it used to mean. Retirement used to mean, your house was paid off, you had a rocking chair on the porch, you would go fishing, you got a little Social Security. You were good to go for the next 10, 15, 20 years of your life. Retired, relaxing, not worrying about everything. Nowadays, the price of heating fuel, people who heat their homes with propane, outrageous, man. Let's hope for a mild winter. Let's hope for a cool summer so people can afford their utility bills. A lot of people now, when they retire, it means a downgrade in their lifestyle. What you could afford when you were working, you can't afford when you retire. The American dream of retiring and having home ownership and relaxing is long gone. And for those of you who are lucky enough to own your home now and you're retiring, many guys are choosing to sell their house, take the money, and run. Go live somewhere else that is more relaxing, somewhere else that's much more enjoyable, much more conducive to the retirement life that we're looking for. Americans are leaving America for many different reasons. And economics, the cost of living. People can't afford to live there anymore. It is the greatest country in the world because so many people want to get into the U.S. to work and earn a living. But the trouble is they don't understand how hard it is to maintain a style of life in America. You have to work. If you're married, you're both working. Long gone is the husband working and the wife staying at home and raising the family. It is now the husband working, the wife or the partner working, and maybe even one of the kids are getting a part-time job as a teenager to help out. Skyrocketing healthcare costs. A lot of people talk to me about the Philippines and how expensive it is for healthcare and how poor it is here. Healthcare is not expensive compared to the U.S. Hospital bills here are much cheaper than the U.S. Insurance here is a cheaper premium than what you pay in the U.S. The U.S., the skyrocketing cost of hospitalization, the high cost of insurance policies, mandated sometimes where you work, you have to have health insurance. You got to do the copay on the health insurance. Back in the day, the company paid for your health insurance. Last job I had to pay 65% of my premium. It's a great help that they paid 35%, but it's a far cry from health insurance coverage as an added benefit at work. Work, because things cost so much, they're not giving you so much in benefits. Maybe you get $1 raise an hour, but you're losing your health insurance. You're losing the benefit that they pay into the health insurance. Maybe the 401 isn't what it used to be. It used to be matching to a certain point. Is it matching now? Guys, let me know. Is your 401 100% match? That's what I had in the 90s. What is it now? Is it 50-50 or have they capped it where you can put only X amount in that they'll match? And hospitals are like a Russian roulette, man. You hear stories of people going into hospitals and coming out more sick than when they went in. How big a bill are you going to run up? Yeah, they're going to work on you, and you're going to get the bill at the end. But you don't know what that bill is going to be. You know, it's going to be $100,000, it's going to be $50,000, it's going to be $20,000. It's Russian roulette going into a U.S. hospital. What happened to health care for all at affordable price. It's not affordable price for all. Maybe a few. I think if you're at one end of the spectrum, you're at the very bottom on income, it's affordable. And if you're very top of the income level, it's affordable. But for the vast majority of us in the middle, the quote middle class that is slowly diminishing and disappearing in America, it is not affordable. Groceries are not affordable for the middle class. Not affordable health care for the middle class. Nothing's affordable. What is the price of a brand new car now? A pickup truck. Are they in the hundreds of thousands of dollars? You know, are you buying a brand new Chevy Silverado, four-wheel drive, off-road capability, all the bells and whistles? What is it, 100,000, 100,000 plus? You tell me. I'm not there. I think new vehicles are so expensive. People are trying to make their old cars last longer and longer. And what does that lead to? More clunkers on the road. More people going away from full coverage on their insurance to just liability, just to cut corners. It's not right. In America, we should be able to afford a new car every once in a while. We should be able to afford to move around, sell our home and buy another home if we want to. You can't do that. The price of housing, the price of cars, the price of everything is outrageous. Look at the price of a damn Whopper combo meal. Somebody sent me a picture of the bill that they got for a Whopper, fries, and a Coke. It was $16. 1,000 pesos. I got the same thing here, and it was 400 pesos. Come on, guys. The cost is outrageous in the U.S., and that is the main reason people are leaving, especially retirees, and especially retired men who are still physically active and want to enjoy their life. Men are feeling burned out. Women are feeling burned out. Families are feeling burned out with the situation in the U.S. Political stress, security issues. My God, when I was a youngster in school, they would teach you how to cross the street, look both directions, hold hands, listen to the crossing guard. Now what are they teaching you? How to listen for gunshots, hide under the desk, be scared of strangers in the school building, keep the doors locked. Is that life? Is that life for us to teach our children that? That it is unsafe in school? Be on the watch for a stranger walking through the playground? My God. What's wrong with a guy walking through the playground? It shouldn't be a big issue. But because society is like it is, and the people have the freedoms to buy guns and do what they want until they're caught, I believe in gun ownership. I do not own a gun. I believe in your right to own a gun if you want to. But my God, who's watching out for the crazies out there? We got to do something to stop the craziness, the mass shootings. But so many people walk around with guns who shouldn't have them. What happened to this background check we were going to do? Have we lost sight as a society that we're going to ask for your ID when you walk down the road? But if you're carrying a gun concealed, we're going to say that is your right to bear arms? It is your right. But it's not your right to shoot people. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. Who's watching out for these crazies? And you're living your life. You're minding your own business. You buy a house and you're in a homeowners association. My God, they're more concerned that your trash can color matches the neighbor's trash can color than they care about community, block parties, getting to know your neighbor, enjoying the safety of the neighborhood. No, we're going to go at you because your weeds are too tall. Your grass is brown. You got an oil stain on your driveway. We're looking at the wrong things in life. If you're in a community, you're in a neighborhood, it should be a community. You should get to know your neighbors. You should have these block parties. We used to have them all the time in Cleveland on West 180th. They would block off the street. You'd call the ward councilman and say, hey, we're going to have a block party. The police would come and put a barrier at both ends. You'd have food and drink and some music, and you got to know your neighbors. Everybody knew their neighbors. Nowadays, nobody wants to know their neighbors. Everybody is an isolationist. I have to protect me and my family. I don't want to know Billy down the road. I don't want to know Sally and her 4 cats. I just want to worry about me. Stay off my grass. I don't care about your grass. But the homeowner association, they're going to make sure your grass is cut and green and you plant the correct flowers in the spring. But they don't care anything else about you as a person or the community as a community. They just have their little written up rules that you have to enforce to the letter, where it should be more about individuals and being able to accept everybody for who they are and having community. If your neighbor's taking care of their yard and looks nice and they're nice people, why are we bothering them with the color of the trash can? That I will never understand. I'm not really going to get into the political tensions, but that's a very, very major reason a lot of people leave. Me, I believe if you're in the U.S. and you have a political point of view, you should become an activist. You should help draw the vote for the side that you're interested in supporting. It be a Democrat, a Republican, a red state, blue state, red pill, blue pill, green pill, whatever it is. Be an activist. Get involved with your community. Get involved with the politics. Some guy in Washington cannot control what's going on your street. If there's illegal shit going on your street, go to the city council. Tell them it is. Force them to investigate. Force them. What do you have? You have your vote. Voting them out of office or letting them think they're getting voted out of office will cause action. Change is done from the grassroots up, not from the top down. If your community's not safe, if you have too many illegals there, or you have illegal businesses in your neighborhood, get the neighbors together. This is community. And a lot of people don't want to get involved with this anymore. It's not my problem. I just worry about me. Me, my family, my life. That's all I worry about. You need to get involved. If you're in America and you vote, you are already involved. Get involved on the grassroots of it. No matter who you support, no matter what your ideas are, no matter what your beliefs, get out there and support what you believe in. And I'm going to talk to the retired guys leaving America. They're leaving for a fresh start. They're tired of all that. Maybe divorce has gotten to them. Maybe, they're widowed or a widower and they want a fresh start. They want a more exciting life. They have some assets. They're going to go ahead and sell their assets, and they're going to come to Southeast Asia. Maybe they're going to go to Spain or down to South America or Panama, Costa Rica. They're going somewhere where they can enjoy the fruits of their labor, all the years that they've worked. They were in the military. Look at the large retired military community here in Southeast Asia. Everywhere I go and I talk to people, I'm a retired vet, is what they tell me. I was in the service, I'm a veteran. Once they retire from that, they come here to enjoy their life. They're still physically active. And that's what you got to be. If you're still physically active and you have the money and you need freedom and you want to restart your life, you want to reboot your life, you want something different, something adventurous, go overseas. Being an American gives you something all the people in the world want: an American passport. That passport opens so many doors for you. Let you go almost anywhere in this world, and you're welcome. And the only thing stopping you from being welcome is your own attitude and your own ability to be part of the community, to be socially accepted, and accept the new culture that you're walking into. Remember, you can't bring America with you, but you can bring a good heart, you can bring a kind spirit with you to a new country as you learn the new country and the new cultures of this country. And if you end up in Europe or you end up in South America, wherever you end up calling home, just remember the one thing that U.S. passport gives you: the right to leave. If you don't like it, you can leave and go somewhere else. No one's saying where you go, you have to stay. If you don't like someplace, leave. If you like it and you want to call it home, become part of the community. Enjoy your life. Until next time, guys, God bless you, and I pray for America, always. Until next time.